Hello, and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a public service program for the May 19th primary election that is being produced by Capital Community Media Center, a multimedia that provides local content, education, and a platform for diverse community voices in the greater Salem area. And also by the League of Women Voters, Marion, Polk County, a nonpartisan political organization advocating for voting rights, government transparency, and public election education. All candidates for the position of Polk County Commissioner were invited, and today we'll be hearing from Jeremy Gordon in our interview. The candidate was asked to prepare a 2-minute opening statement telling about himself, his qualifications, and why he chooses to run for office. I am Angie DeVito from the League of Women Voters, and I would like to introduce candidate Gordon to share his opening remarks.
Thank you, Angie. Again, my name is Jeremy Gordon. I currently serve in position 3 on the Polk County Board of Commissioners. I have been in this role for 5 years, was elected in 2022, and appointed by Commissioners Mordhorst and Pope in 2021. Prior to that, I served as mayor of Fall City for nearly 5 years, where we worked on several community projects, including water and wastewater infrastructure projects, community visioning projects that resulted in a nonprofit that serves the community, and various other initiatives. On the Polk County Board of Commissioners, I focus my liaison work largely on health and human services initiatives. We are the Public Mental Health Authority. We are the Public Health Authority, and we've been able to expand services for folks experiencing mental health challenges, added peer support specialists to help folks struggling with addiction issues, and really integrated that work with our public safety system. So my focus will truly be on maintaining those core services in public safety, health and human services, and other county functions, to work collaboratively with partners in our cities, other counties in the region, and the state and federal government. And through my course of work the last 5 years, I've been able to develop and cultivate relationships with state agencies, federal agencies, elected officials, and the like, and was humbly elected to serve as the Vice President of the Association of Oregon Counties to advocate for my county and other counties across the state. I enjoy this work tremendously. We have wonderful staff teams and staff leadership in Polk County. We're a well-sized county to be creative and not be stuck in too much bureaucracy and red tape, so we can respond to challenges in the community effectively. Prior to this work, I worked in higher education administration, finance, and other areas, and really am enjoying this opportunity and connecting with voters during the campaign.
Great, thank you for that information. The questions for our candidate today were developed in collaboration with the American Association of University Women and League members. Candidates did not receive these questions ahead of the interview. The candidates' responses to the individual questions will not be timed. Now let's give candidate Gordon an opportunity to address questions of concern to our community. First question, what is the role of the county in local and statewide discussions addressing drought and water needs?
That is a fantastic question. So we pay for a water supervisor that works with OSU Extension and works with our watershed councils to ensure that proper watershed management is collaborative with our farming community and other community members, protecting those watersheds for riparian zone area protection, and just water retention. I think there's a misnomer that because we're in the valley, we have plenty of water, right? And but there are challenges to our groundwater capacities. So we also decided to invest ARPA dollars a few years ago in a regional water project. This work has been going on since 2005. Commissioner Pope really championed this in recent years, and we're working with the cities of Independence and Monmouth currently to explore how we can meet short-term water deficits and then long-term water deficits as the county grows, expands, and as our water supply gets a bit more challenged. So the county does own a couple of water rights, one on the Willamette River and one at Adair Village. So continuing this work in collaboration with our community members and partners is absolutely crucial. Water will be a challenge in Oregon. We're seeing major challenges in Umatilla County and other counties with nitrate infiltration in the groundwater systems, and we need to do our best and to protect that groundwater supply, explore surface water options like we are with this regional water project, and support our cities and other water providers as they respond to growing needs.
Okay. With budget changes and needs, how will issues like fairgrounds operations be addressed?
I'm really glad a member asked this question. This has been in the news, and essentially due to revenue challenges with the county fairgrounds year-round operations and the yearly fairground, we need to explore some other options for revenue. And the county commissioners, we're going to put an advisory question on the May ballot asking, hey, should we go out for another levy attempt so we can be sure to operate the fairgrounds efficiently and address some critical capital upgrades in our electrical system and in some of our pavement systems that are presenting some challenges or risks for folks. So we heard overwhelmingly from the community, heard from hundreds of people, both in public meetings and privately, that we should just go out for another attempt at the levy and save those fairgrounds. The business community has come to the table, the nonprofit community, our cities. The community response has been overwhelming. We really need to maintain that for our 4-H kiddos, for the future farmers of America, et cetera, to both hang on to our heritage as an agricultural community and also to look at the future and what's possible to make that a viable commercial property. So we're looking at partnerships. I think the community is going to rally around this and we're going to be successful. That's my hope. That's what I anticipate, but it's going to take all of us at the table, all 3 commissioners engaging with the community, our fair board members being on board, and again, other community partners. So.
All righty. What resources does Polk County have for addiction and mental health services?
Thank you for that question. So, as I mentioned, we are the local community mental health authority, and it's our obligation to invest state and federal pass-through dollars to provide mental health services, developmental disability services, and addiction services. So we do provide those services for folks on OHP. That can be direct outpatient service. It can be peer support for folks who are looking to enter into a recovery opportunity. And it's also collaboration with our public safety partners, our emergency responders, and the like. This is a challenge that every community in the United States is facing. We have to make sure our response is community informed, it's collaborative, and that we increase access. One thing we were able to accomplish is the building of the Polk Care Center in Dallas on the Academy campus site. This houses our crisis response folks. So these folks are going out into community 24/7. And there's also walk-in opportunities for folks who want immediate, accessible, trauma-informed connection to services. I think one of our duties as leaders is to lower the stigma of addiction challenges. This affects so many people. Just about everybody knows somebody in family or themselves that need assistance here. So this is what I consider a core service that we need to address, and we need to do it together.
What plans are in place to address traffic safety on highways 22 and 51?
Wonderful question. So this has been it's called a legacy project. This has been a project that dates back to 1996. And we have not seen a whole lot of progress there. I am very thankful for Commissioner Mordhorst's leadership representing the county and really reestablishing good relationship with ODOT and regional partners to make this a regional priority. So we do have funding set aside for planning and design. That is happening, but what the challenge is securing that $55 million for construction. So we've worked with ODOT to look at this as a phased project over time, but with the ODOT funding challenges, this will be a challenge. So we are advocating at the federal level for funding and doing everything we can to start that phased approach to make that intersection more safe. It is, we had a recent death involving a school bus. Luckily, nobody on that bus passed away. But our message to ODOT is that this is a priority safety project for the region, and the community is demanding it, and that advocacy and work is ongoing. And I'm very happy to support Commissioner Mordhorst and his as his liaison work continues.
How would you rate the county's current financial status?
I would rate the county's current financial status as, I would say, at some risk. Like many counties, especially counties that were formerly timber counties that received timber tax receipts, we're challenged to provide basic general fund funded services for our community. We are very dependent on a 49.5-cent public safety levy. That's to ensure 24/7 patrol coverage. That's to ensure we have adequate prosecution and juvenile beds. That's a growing need, unfortunately, in many communities that we're seeing more criminal activity with young folks. So we just went through our first budget meeting yesterday. For folks who want to watch it, that will be online. And we're challenged. We're dipping into reserves a bit, but we have to avoid cutting patrol officers and the like, as our promise with that public safety levy was made. We have to fulfill that, but we are going to go out for renewal for that public safety levy in May of next year, and we'll have to sort of recalibrate what we need to maintain those basic necessary services that the public requires. I do think statewide we need to look at property tax reform. If I could wave a magic wand, I would redirect some of the income tax funds we pay to the state to come back to local communities for basic services. I don't know if that's politically feasible, but when we and other communities, other counties, there are some counties in much tougher shape than we are, struggle to provide those basic public safety services. That's challenging. In our public works department, we're okay there. In our behavioral health programs and health and human services, we're okay there. Those are mostly pass-through dollars from the state and federal government. But it's still constant advocacy to ensure those unfunded mandates that we're required to provide as a county remain funded. But we are supplementing some of those services, right, with general fund property tax dollars. So this is a constant battle, constant point of attention.
What plans exist for providing for the unhoused in Polk County?
Wonderful question. So this is an area that I've engaged in quite extensively. When I came on board, I was handed the liaison assignment to serve on the board of Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance and the Community Action Agency, and realized that we needed a kind of a different approach in the rural spaces of Polk County. So I convened our public safety partners from all of our cities. I convened our schools. I convened service providers and city managers, EMS and code enforcement folks, anybody who might intersect with our homeless community in rural Polk County. And there was consensus that there is a growing problem, a growing need, and some of those needs were very surprising to many of our mayors and other city officials. So I formed a collaborative called PATHS, Partners Aligned Towards Housing Solutions, and since then we've been able to stand up Polk County's first ever youth homeless program called David's House, run by Community Action Agency. And all convene around this question. We've been able to secure rehousing funds for domestic violence survivors, for veterans. We previously ran Gales Lodge as a county, but could not fill beds with male veterans. So we've handed that program off to Community Action, and they're going to both serve male veterans and then factor in female veterans as well. But because of the the continuum of housing options for veterans. We've nearly solved that for male veterans. It does not mean we're not going to see more male veterans experiencing homelessness, but we have a continuum of services there. That work is ongoing. I'm very glad our partners signed a contract to work on this together, all of our cities, the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, but that work is ongoing, and there is no choice but to respond to this growing crisis.
What two land use laws do you consider most significant to Polk County development?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, Senate Bill 100 obviously is the significant one. There are subsequent measures that sort of refine some of that work. But what I'm hearing from my community is that they want to protect those natural resource lands. They want to protect their agricultural lands, forests and timberlands, and make sure that growth is occurring from the city outward or up. Some of our cities enacted codes to allow for vertical housing options, cottage clusters, more options for builders and the community to make some local decisions on how they can fulfill their housing needs. That is very unique in this country. If you go elsewhere, California, I grew up in the Midwest. The sprawl is the name of the game. And my uncle was a farmer in Wisconsin, said Oregon is the promised land because they've really protected what is some of the most productive farmland in the world. So that's something we're always trying to manage. Growth has to be measured. It has to be aligned with infrastructure capacity and the community's desire, right? The state does not allow a whole lot of creative community planning, but within what we are able to do, we can do quite a bit and make sure we're growing at a responsible rate.
Thank you. Now we invite candidate Gordon to share his closing remarks and his public contact information.
Well, thank you, Angie, and the League of Women Voters again for this opportunity. Again, I'm running for re-election to Polk County Commissioner Position 3. I would like to continue the work that we've started. I would like to use my experience and knowledge of a very complex county budget and programmatic array to protect core services in the public safety realm and health and human services and the like. I've built wonderful relationship with the community. I show up. I am engaged both in the community, in the office, and on commissions and boards to advocate for my community, and I absolutely love the work, love the people I work with, love the culture of Polk County government, and look forward to working with a new commissioner to maybe be a bit more collaborative and do some planning, intentional planning and goal setting as a board. I think there's really some opportunity to get some good work done. Folks can reach me. They can access my website at gordonforpolk.com. My email information is there. It's a campaign@gordonforpolk.com. Feel free to reach out, call, stop in the office. I love talking to constituents, helping to solve any issues they may be facing, hearing their concerns, and then from a campaign standpoint, hearing about their priorities for the county.
Thank you, candidate Gordon, for our interview today and sharing your thoughts. Thanks to Capital Community Media for their production and technology skills, to our community groups that provided questions and topics to you, the public, for watching this program in order to become an informed voter. You have until April 28th to register to vote or make changes in your registration. Watch for your ballot in your mailbox beginning on April 29th. Remember to vote and vote early before May 19th, especially if you are mailing in your ballot. For more local, state, and national voter election information on candidates and ballot measures, visit votefor11.org after April 15th when data is posted. Elections matter. Remember to vote, because your vote counts.